Well, hey there, everybody. It is Wednesday, and this is going to be health reporting, I guess. I'm going to try. I got a wild hair up my ass to rearrange my computer desk in my office and kind of see if I can clear up some spaces for furniture, as well as I had to, kind of play chauffeur to an elderly relative. So now it is almost 9 o'clock, and I have to, leave the house at 4 a.m. to get to work. So, as always, you're going to get tired of me saying this excuse. It's going to be real rushed. It's not going to be as good as I wanted to make it, but I'm making it nonetheless. Here we go. So today we're going to be looking at a website I've been consulting for a long while called Rogue Health and Fitness. Now, this is not Rogue Fitness Equipment. It's Rogue Health and Fitness. It's run by a man named P.D. Mangan, and he basically is an older gentleman who researches dietary and behavioral things that you can do to slow your aging and overall improve your health. And a lot of what he's saying kind of matches up with what I've been hearing about on the Joe Rogan podcast. And Joe Rogan is an athlete and talks to a lot of athletes and has his own line of products and supplements and things. So I feel that this is kind of a good place to get information and bring information to people from. Basically, the key elements of this site seem to be that sugar is very pernicious, it's very, very bad, that fats and proteins have been unfairly demonized, and that red meat has been unfairly demonized, that red meat in fact contains compounds that are essential for a lot of processes and it should not be avoided, that carbohydrates and refined sugars, as well as seed oils, oils that come from a mechanical process of extraction from grains, like they propose canola, etc., cause inflammation, and inflammation is one of the key drivers of a lot of health problems. It's one of the things that makes us age, that leads to stuff like cancer. And yeah, so here is an article from him called How to Lower Your Biological Age, and in it he talks about some surprising findings. As we all know, all people do not age at the same rate, some aging markedly slower, and some faster, seemingly following a normal distribution. If you want to stay healthy and free of chronic disease, as well as live a long lifespan by fighting aging, you'd be well advised to be on the left side of the curve. How can we do that? An interesting new study by a team that includes the maverick scientist Lee Hood determined the biological markers most associated with lower or higher biological age. The study looked at medical records of over 3,500 people and assessed the biological age via computer algorithm, the Clamara-Duval algorithm. They looked at which biomarkers were associated with younger or older biological as opposed to chronological age. There weren't a lot of surprises here, though there were a few which I'll mention. They found three general measures that were strongly associated with biological age: metabolic health, inflammation, biological toxins. And he goes on to talk about a lot of this, but for the interest of time, I'm just going to say the conclusion, a lot of what he pushes is resistance training, because resistance training with weights helps to build insulin resistance very, very quickly, or to fight, I think, insulin resistance. I forgot if it was insulin resistance was good or bad, but yeah, that's what happens when you weight train, is you get rid of the bad aspect of whatever it is that insulin does, and you build muscle, which helps you to maintain your strength and stability, the very common sense part of it. And also it helps to create testosterone, which for men decreases as you get older. Now, a lot of this stuff is kind of already general knowledge, but I feel that it bears repeating. Also, I'll say, just a personal observation from my life, I have friends that kind of have had mindsets that some of them, cite a grandparent or something that, well, these people used to work on a farm and they thought that working out was kind of for these yuppies and things, and people had too much free time on their hands and you should be doing something productive. It wasn't considered productive to, exercise physically. It's also kind of associated, I came from a religious background, I was sent to religious schools, with vanity in a way. So a lot of people kind of disregard it in that way. But in order to have a strong all-around character and life, you need to have physical strength. So you have to lay it aside. And what's going to happen if you're one of these people that's, I have a friend who became an engineer and he's very out of shape right now, but he did everything more or less correctly along the path that, a parent would want their child to do. He followed his dad's footsteps pretty well. His dad is an engineer, he became an engineer. But along the way, he just kind of, did whatever health wise. And I think that he would be somebody that would see such a crazy difference because you forget how different you felt when you were kind of normal to when you're out of shape. And then when you're in really great shape, it's a whole new level. It's just astronomical differences. So we have a lot of office workers that do brain work like engineering, or that are just kind of corporate types. And then you have your video game nerds, and you have no idea how much better you can feel. And whatever task that you're doing, I guarantee that it will, all the increased blood flow to the brain, the better sleep that you're going to get as a result, it's all going to pay huge dividends in just, and like feel is such a subjective thing, but it's definitely a feeling, and it's definitely related to something that is, in my opinion, damned near spiritual. This crazy machine that we've been kind of given on loan from God, and taking care and honing it to the best of our ability as if it was a fine watch. It's something else, man. So I'd suggest everybody visit roguehealthandfitness.com, PD Mangan's site, not the Rogue products for I think strength training, etc. And take his advice. I'm going to be delving into these topics a little bit further as I get time. But as always, thanks so much for listening. My main website is fractaljournal.com, where you'll find stories, ideas, and more. And I'll catch y'all later.